NKGSB कोऑपरेटिव्ह बँक 105 वर्षांची समृद्ध परंपरा. आमच्या सर्व ग्राहकांचे, भागधारकांचे आणि शुभचिंतकांचे मनःपूर्वक
Namaskar and a very, very warm welcome to you all. NKGSB Bank presents Navaratrila Navarupe Tu. Celebrate the 9 days of Navaratri with 9 Mahagauris, and these Mahagauris are from 9 different and very, very unique fields. This program, as I said, is presented by the NKGSB Bank. To know more about NKGSB Bank, give a missed call on 022 2860 2020 or visit www.nkgsb-bank.com, where the contact number and website are also mentioned in the scroll and the caption of this video. So you can click on the website link in the caption and of course directly visit the website as well. So let's begin with the program. Today we have with us a very, very special guest, the very, very accomplished Chetna Sinha, who is the founder, chairperson, Mann Deshi Bank and Mann Deshi Foundation. Chetna Sinha ji, welcome, namaskar, and a very, very warm welcome we extend to you.
Namaste. I'm thankful to NKGSB Bank for this opportunity to share my experiences with you and all the clients and supporters of NKGSB Bank.
Sure, thank you so much. So I must say a bit about Chetna ji. She's the one who set up the Mann Deshi Mahila Sahakari Bank, which is India's first bank for and by rural women. She's also the one who founded the first business school for rural women in India in 2013. And in 2013, she launched, in 2006 actually, she founded the first business school for rural women in India. In 2013, she launched a toll-free helpline and the first chambers of commerce for women micro-entrepreneurs in the country. Also, in January 2018, she served as a co-chair of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, and as a co-chair of financial inclusion at the Women 20 Summit in Argentina. Later that year, she was awarded the Nari Shakti Puraskar, the highest civilian award for women in India by the President of India. She's a member of the BRICS Women's Business Alliance and is also the member of the Gender Equality Advisory Council. This is in 2022. Which was appointed during Germany's G7 presidency. And what a pleasure, ma'am, it is to have you around here on the show. And may I now shoot the very first question to you, because we have actually series of questions. We want to know so much about your work and your experiences. But most importantly, we are doing this series on the occasion of Navaratri. So according to you, I just want to know what, according to you, is women empowerment?
Thanks. So when I talk about, or if anybody talks about women empowerment, the whole thing is that we keep in mind, or generally it is assumed that women are powerless, they are vulnerable, and they need to be supported. I look at it a bit differently. I see it is that if women, let me take in rural India, if in the villages, if women are managing their house with such a scarce resources, taking care of their health of the family, and also investing in the education of the children with all limited resources, and they are working, they are not sitting at home. And so when you see that, when you see the hard work of these women, I would say that I never feel that they are vulnerable or something, but it is more about the power of women. And in India, we actually have so many historical women, not only just people would talk about Jhansi Ki Rani and all that, but I would say even with, say, Savitri got Satyavan, right? And fought with Yamaraja. Now, when you see this, people do talk about it like so much of sacrifice. I see it is not a sacrifice, it is a power. And when I say that, what I mean is that, it is very, Satyavan was very lucky to have a
True.
wife like her who was so
Yeah.
powerful that she challenged the Yamraj. So, in that sense, I see women to be very powerful. This actually, that power has to be celebrated, has to be listened, and has to be displayed. And I'm glad that NKGSB is actually celebrating the power of women. And it's not, I did share about the historical women, but even now, you go into the villages and you'll see number of powerful women who actually are unsung heroes, which for such opportunities we talk about them.
I absolutely agree and understand what you're trying to say, because it's the innate strength inside every human being, I would say, and more now that we are talking about women. It's something I think which some of them may have to recognize it for themselves, as well as the society, which also has to recognize it. And I think that is something which is very, very important for women themselves as well as for everyone around them, because they are the one who help flourish as well. So, Chetnaji, you have done tremendous work with women, particularly in rural areas. But what has been your motivation? When did you decide that you wanted to work for women in rural areas? What made you do that?
You know what? Actually, I am born and raised in Mumbai. And when I was doing my undergraduation program, like I was doing my BCom degree in Mumbai University, at that time, Jayaprakash Narayan, a Gandhian leader who used to go to the campuses, all the university campuses, talk to students and invite them, or I would say like appeal them that young people should work in villages of India. And all these people in Mumbai, Jayaprakash Narayan, George Fernandez, these people used to go to the universities and appeal the young students that there is a need to work in a rural India, villages of India, and students like y'all should go and work there. And I was really I got very much passionate about it with this appeal. And I decided that, okay, this is a great opportunity and I should go and work in the villages of India. And so I actually committed myself, and Jayaprakash Narayan was quite happy with it. And so he said that, why don't you travel India, in the villages of India with me? That was an opportunity, right, to travel with these
Absolutely, yeah.
reputed Gandhian leaders across India. And in 1981, I traveled whole India, and I was not even 21-year old. And I was going from villages to villages all over India, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and from here, from Mumbai to Northeast, and traveled the whole country, went to those campuses, universities, students, and the villages. This actually gave me a soul context of what is the life in the village in India. And at that time, I was just amazed by the strength of the people in the village, which they were surviving in spite of all the challenges. And actually, I did my post graduation. I taught economics in University of SNDT University in Mumbai, but that remained in my mind. The framework of the rural people in my mind. And while traveling, I met my husband Vijay Sinha, who is a farmer, and I fell madly in love with him, and I decided that
Okay.
I want to leave Mumbai and work in the village. And so from Mumbai, I came directly to Maswad in Satara district, which is one of the most drought-stricken area of Maharashtra. And I decided that I'll be working in this area with my husband, with farmers. And incidentally, I also got an opportunity to work with Sharad Joshi, a farmers leader. And
Okay.
that gave me, like, what is the plight of farmers? What is the plight of farmer women? And that actually, there was so much to understand. And when you are young, you are passionate, there is a drive, there is an energy. So I was finding it that this is what is the mission of my life. So that's how I left Mumbai. I shifted to the village in Satara district in Maswad and started working there with women. You know what? when I was meeting, women used to come to me, and these women who never got an opportunity to go to school, to go to high school, no degrees, no travel, no exposure, no electricity, no running water, no transport, ordinary women. But today in this interview, I will be sharing the stories of these ordinary women who did extraordinary things in their life.
That's precisely what we want to know and hear from you, because at the very beginning of our program, when we started this discussion, you did say that there is this untapped potential which exists, around us and amongst these women. So when you first started, I won't say really educating them, but encouraging them to be self sufficient, to move towards a more economic stability. What do you think? I mean, how did you experience their reaction? Were they willing to do that? Were they willing to sit back into their, best known cocoons and see themselves as the way the world sees them? So, what was really their reaction? We would like to know more about it.
It's a very interesting question, Sawant madam. You know what? We, as I mentioned before also, that we assume that people, women don't know much, they would need so much of awareness, they would need to be taught and all that. And the same thing I also assumed that way during
Okay.
that time. But women would come with a very different questions, different demand, different approach. And I do remember that, it would be, some would be like, we don't have a power connection, or we need water. But they will never come and say that, we don't have our money and give us money, because
Okay.
they themselves had a confidence in them that this part we can manage. What we need is that what are the basic infrastructure things which is a fundamental right of every citizen of this country. So that was actually, and I was a bit surprised to see that none of the women was coming and saying, oh, I don't have any money and I cannot feed my children, or I cannot feed my family, so can you give me money? None of that came.
Hmm.
And that actually gave me that these are such, they have so much of dignity. They are ready
Absolutely.
to work hard. They
Absolutely.
are, if they are given an opportunity, and they want to improve their lives. But in this middle of that, one woman, Kantabai, came to me.
Okay.
She is a blacksmith. She does the business on the street. And she said, I want to do savings. Now,
Okay.
my obvious response to that was that, Kantabai, you are doing business on the street. You don't even have a house to stay. Your family is staying on the street. Do you even have a surplus money to save? Kantabai was insistent. She said, you know what? Because I'm staying on the street, I want to buy a tarpaulin sheet, because in summer we have actually in the area of Maswad, the hot heat is so much that we have 50 degrees Celsius. And so she said that to protect my family from heat and from rain, I want to buy a tarpaulin sheet, and for that I want to do savings, and I will be doing every day 5 rupees savings. And once I
Wow.
get that amount saved, then I can buy the tarpaulin sheet.
Okay.
Now, I felt like she knows what she wants. And so I thought, she's asking for an opportunity to save. Why don't I go with her to different banks? This is, I'm talking in 1994. So I
Mm-hmm.
went with Kantabai to different banks. Banks denied opening the account. You know why?
So she has no
Because
address.
very small amount of savings, and they said she's
Oh.
not an affordable client to us. So then I felt that Kantabai has all the right. She's not asking for any subsidy, she's not asking for any loan, she's not asking for any grant. What she's asking is to save her hard earned money at a safer place, and she has all the rights. So then we decided that why don't we set up a bank for women like Kantabai. And so I started working on that. I went to the Reserve Bank of India. At that time, Marathi Committee report was just out, and there was a window for Women's Cooperative Bank. And so I thought, why not we set up a Women's Cooperative Bank? So we mobilized the capital and applied for the banking license. But you know what? a license was again denied by Reserve Bank of India.
Okay.
And why? Because majority of our promoting members who actually paid their capital, who wanted to become a member, they were not literate. In the place of signature, they had a thumb impression. And they said, the Reserve Bank said, we cannot issue a license to the bank whose promoting members are non-literate. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I had no answer. So I went back. I was so nervous. I talked to all women and I said, we couldn't get it because our women are non-literate. You know what our women said? They said that Reserve Bank denied license because we cannot read and write. But when we were growing, there were no schools. But in spite of that, there were no schools in the villages. But in spite of that, why are you crying? We will learn to read and write again and apply for the license again. I saw the confidence and I felt, okay, they are ready to learn to read and write. I don't know we'll get the license or not, but why this is a good opportunity that women get an opportunity to study. So we started a literacy classes and our literacy classes started, and you'll be surprised that in so many villages, myself and my colleague Ruxana, we would go on two-wheeler from villages to villages and start the literacy classes, and all women were so excited to do that, and they were saying like, we will learn to read and write, we will learn, we know how to count, and we will get the banking license. So then after 6 months I applied again, and at that time I didn't go alone. I with me 15 women accompanied to Reserve Bank of India. I wasn't sure what they are going to talk, but I could see the confidence in them. And when we went to Reserve Bank, you know what our women told the director? They said that you rejected the license because we are not literate. They said we cannot read and write, but we can count.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they said that they challenged the officer, saying that ask us to calculate the interest of any principal amount. If we fail, don't issue the license. But tell your officers to do it without calculator and see who can calculate faster. Needless to say, we got the banking license. And I'm so proud to share with you that today, with this opening of the bank and then later on setting up the business school, radio which is operated by women, we actually, and I'm very proud to share with you that with all these efforts of 2.5 decades, today we have impacted 850,000 women. And in 2023, we will be celebrating the year of impacting 1 million women.
Wow, that really is kudos to it, right? I would say that. So this is really amazing. And as you said, women themselves were very keen that they take this initiative. But again, as I'm saying, Chetna ji, for you also to have that trust, that faith in them as much as they had their trust and faith in you, it mattered a lot in spite of the few defeats that came your way in the beginning, and then take over from there. So this is something very, very interesting. So this is where comes the 1997 Deshi Mahila Sahakari Bank that you have started, which is considered to be India's first bank for and by the rural women. So how has the journey been? Like, how did you started with, you said around 10 to 15 women accompanied you to the RBI, and then finally convinced, and then you finally started the bank. How did you get these large number of women then come in? What was the confidence building measure? Were there any that you tried to put in place?
So you know what, actually, Sawant madam, what happens that when you set up the bank, there was so much excited and women wanted to do savings and all. But the banking sector was operating very differently. And whatever I'm sharing today, as I mentioned, that the lessons I learned from these extraordinary women, right, who have guided me to my journey. So first I was like thinking, okay, we would have savings, credit, where what other banks do. And there was so much of excitement after getting the license. Pramilatai Dandavate, who came to inaugurate the bank. And but I saw that next day women didn't come to the bank. And I was
Okay.
surprised. What was the reason? Like, why didn't they come? So then I went to women, those who are street vendors, and I said, like, we went to Mumbai, got the license, and now you are not coming to the bank. So they said that, you know, we work in morning, we take care of our animals, then we take care of our home, we cook, and then we leave the house, either go to farm or we go to our do our business, maybe street vending, fruit vending, milk vending, and we do not have time to come to the bank. So I said, then what should we do? So they said, no, you have to provide us the doorstep facility. So then
Okay.
we decided that if women cannot come to the bank, bank will go to them. And in
Okay.
1999,
Hmm.
I just like, repeating very slowly that in 1999, we were the first bank providing doorstep banking, daily collection to women. And that was done on the device which you saw, which you know that later on it was used by bus conductors, handheld device, right?
Okay.
Those, because technology had been always, we used to always say that technology should be used in the banking sector
Mm-hmm.
because it's so important. So, and our transactions were like the value of the transaction was very small, but the scale was very big, so it was very
Hmm.
important to use the technology. And so we started this doorstep banking. And when
Okay.
we started that, it was just like every weekly market, everywhere from the villages, women would come and say that, why don't you send the field officers in our village also so that we can get the doorstep banking? So it was very interesting that how the banking services were given and customized according to the needs of women. In
Hmm.
similar way, we had a products also. So let me tell you that, we were thinking, and I had to learn a lot. I made a lot of mistakes also, which I would like to
Mm-hmm.
share, right? Because when you're working with people, you assume some things which are always wrong. And then the wisdom from the community comes. So I remember that we in 1999 only, we actually set up a one saving product where, all banks used to give this kitty bank to the kids. They can
Okay.
save in coins, and then when the box is full, then amount can be transferred to the saving account. So we designed the similar product, and then we had a very nice box with the Mickey Mouse on it, and we distributed to more than 7,000 women and to
Okay.
like save in that box. But what happened was that one day on Wednesday, weekly market day, one woman came with a broken box, and she was
Hmm.
crying, and she said that, whose stupid idea is this?
Hmm.
It is mine. She said, you know what? Before your representative of the bank comes, I had saved and box was full, but before your bank representative came, my
Okay.
husband broke the box, took away all my hard-earned money and spent into the drinking. Now, who
Oh.
is responsible for that? She was questioning. I said, I am responsible for that. But
Hmm.
with this, what I learned was that never think that you know what people want. You have to ask
Hmm.
them. When
Hmm.
you design any credit product, saving product, any product of the bank, ask, just get their advice. Will it work for them? That was one. The second lesson which I got learned from them is, it's not that women just want an access to banking, or access to finance. What they
Hmm.
want is control on finance. And that was
That's
a big
right. Yeah.
learning for me. So
Hmm.
after that, whatever products we design, either it is saving or it is credit, the mindset and the approach is that that product has to give control on finance to our women, because that's what they are demanding, that give the services in such a way that we can have a control on our hard-earned money.
Okay. But tell me something in this whole journey that you have, it's very inspiring actually. Women, wanting to save, wanting to have a control over their finances. Would there not have been opposition coming from their families or, otherwise other sectors? So, what were those areas of opposition and how did you kind of overcome them, those challenges?
So, there is always an opposition, right? Either it is from the family or it is from the society. There is an opposition. I would like to give you another example. An opposition is at a different level. Opposition is at the field level. Opposition is at the where you are working in the sector.
Absolutely.
There. So we had a field officer, Mangal Sawant. She used to do daily savings of women. And she used to collect the daily savings, come to the bank, transfer the amount to all women's saving account. When one day she called us and Mangal said that I have a money which I was about to come and deposit in the bank. But the sarpanch of the bank, sarpanch of the village is borrowing, asking, and he's saying that, can I borrow money from you? And
Oh,
she
okay.
was nervous because she said, this is not my money, but Sarpanch is asking. So she was nervous and she said, what should I do? And this is in the beginning days, right? We were also not known that so much. So I said, okay, what you do is that go and tell him that this is not my money. This is all women's saving. I will call all women and in front of them, you ask
Okay.
them that I want
Okay.
to borrow money. If women say yes, then I'll do it.
Okay.
She did that and she told him the same reply. And then that person didn't revert.
Would not have. Yeah.
So he didn't come. So the wisdom here, what I saw that Mangal could show that if all women coming together becomes a power to fight against such challenges, right? In the similar way, we also got it in from when you are in a banking system, not banking, but working in the villages and all, you get these people, many people would approach you in a very different way for some demands. And then you have to be very diplomatic in finding out in the beginning days. At the same time, I would also say, Sawant Pandam, that one another thing which I learned from women was that when this Mangal's experience was narrated, many of our women savers, they said that, you know what, we actually should have a board and say that we are saving for Mandeshi Bank. And
Okay.
and actually, at that time, nobody was talking about business correspondence. But our women said that if we say that, then people know and it's always good to be in public and talk about it openly that I am doing this and I'm giving this facility to women. So then nobody tries to because you yourself are so open and clear, then people will not come forward and collectively play a role with the women collectives. So whenever these women used to have a meetings together, have a board of Mahila Bank, having meetings, and every woman would say that this bank has opened for savings. So it was very the collective power really worked well whenever these challenges came.
True, true. You tell me, Chetnaji also founded the first business school for rural women in India. That's quite innovative. It's the business school. It may have been an idea which has been there for a while, but to start it for women in the rural area. So, what exactly do women learn? What were you expecting, and how has it turned out around?
Actually, as I mentioned that I never thought I will start a bank. In the similar way, I never thought I'll start a business school for rural women. What happened was that when we were providing the loans and savings and everything, many women would come to the bank and they would say that actually when we are getting loan, it is for the household, but we need to get involved and for them how to manage these finances, because there is so much of responsibility, right? And then even if we start some businesses, our businesses should grow. We need all other support also, more information about the business and all. So then we thought that what these women are asking is, on one side they are asking about financial literacy, on other side they are asking about business management, on third side they are asking about marketing. So why don't we start a business school for rural women? So that we can then design different courses so that they can come and get this mentorship, get the skilling on the courses at the business school. But
Okay.
when you start, so in 2007, six actually, this idea came up and we inaugurated a business school in 2007. And bank could not do it, right? Bank is like, all of us know that it is, in the beginning you have to run the bank with such a strict parameters because you
Mm.
want to make a profit. It has to be a profitable institution. So we had a Mandeshi Foundation, and
Mm.
foundation was grant based organization. We used to get
Okay.
grants for foundation. So then HSBC came forward to support this business school for rural
Mm.
women. And I'm so proud to share with you that, see how the power of women comes in. So at that
Absolutely.
time, the CEO of HSBC was Naina Kidwai, who
Mm.
was actually the first women CEO of India from Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
And when she
Okay.
heard about this whole idea of business school for rural women, she said, we are ready to support. And I will come for the inauguration. And we had all types of courses, Deshi MBA, with skill training like tailoring and all, paravets, veterinary course. Because in rural India, you cannot have only beauty and tailoring, right? Has to be some other courses which are going to create the ecosystem for the agriculture, support to the agriculture household. So
Right.
Naina
Yes.
Kidwai came to inaugurate, and we started a business school for rural women, which provides these courses like Mandeshi MBA program, which is a 1 year mentoring course to support the women who want to establish and scale their business. We have a paravets program where paraveterinary courses are given to women so that they can provide the paraveterinary services to goat rearers by insemination and vaccination. We have agronomist course where the soil testing or a women agronomist are trained and they provide this facility of soil
Mm.
testing. So it is
Okay.
very in a way very innovative, which nobody was doing. But at the same time, we had a challenge also because there was nobody was doing. We were the first organization, even with bank also. We designed the module of financial literacy, digital literacy,
Okay. Okay.
Deshi MBA, paraveterinary courses, agronomist courses.
Hmm.
Now we are also having the sports related courses, personality development, where how do you give the interview, how do you prepare your resume, how, for the younger population. So
Hmm.
these are the courses we did because this is not available. And for the requirement eligibility, if you go to the regular business school, your eligibility is like how many percentage you got from the graduation, and there are
Hmm.
so much high fees. But here is that women who couldn't continue their education, who
Okay.
were dropouts, right?
Hmm.
So it was for them we started the business school for rural women.
Okay.
And I am so proud to share that even there our women said that if we cannot come to the school, you need to find the solutions, because women from the remote villages wanted to come. So then
Yeah.
we thought, if again in the similar way, that if women cannot come to the school, school will go to them. And so we
Okay.
started the business school on wheels, where we have a
Okay.
buses which are designed in such a way that it has a compartment of tailoring classes, beauty, machinery, where women who want to like make paper cups and paper plates, women who
Hmm.
want to produce the paper bags. So those machineries are also installed so that they can experience how to use machines. And that's how we have so many buses. And I'm so proud that we have more than 12 buses. And our business school locations are in 3 states, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Gujarat. And we are also partnering, I mean, we are registered under National Skill Development Corporation of India,
Okay.
and also Maharashtra Skill University, so
Okay.
that women get the certificate also.
True. That's a great initiative and quite an innovative one, because the idea is to reach to them and make them realize the worth of learning these things and getting those empowerment through skills as well. Also, quickly tell us about the toll-free helpline for women entrepreneurs that you had started. So what is that all about and how has it worked?
So, again, I would say that we never thought that we'll start the toll.
Okay.
Actually, what happened is that one of our women who took the course from a business school, she started a shop at a chai stall. And
Okay.
she actually got she used to bring the domestic gas on bicycle, set up her chai stall and sell the chai. On
Okay.
Friday evening, she's a Baina Bai. On Friday evening, a police in a civil dress came and asked her to give her chai. And she actually made a chai for him. He drank the chai and he said that you are using a domestic gas which you are not supposed to use for a commercial purpose, and
Okay.
you should use the commercial gas, and I arrest you
Oh,
because you're doing this business. And she was arrested.
oh.
We got a release on Monday morning, and we said that, this is, it is not a mistake, right? She is actually trying to set up the business and struggling against poverty. And if she's being arrested for that, so then we thought that all these women are taking so much of challenges. We could realize that, yes, she would have used the commercial gas, she would have had the license, all those things are so necessary, right? When you set up the business. And when these women are taking the risk, and if they are, like, if that this is the result, we thought that, Baina Bai on Monday she will be like shattered and she will say like, I'll stop my business, which didn't happen. She said that I will take a license, I will buy a commercial gas, I will set up a bigger shop. And she did that. And so then we thought that there is a need for these women, that whatever problem they have, they should have a 24/7 contact place. And we created this toll-free number for Chambers of Commerce for women. And we set up the Chambers of Commerce also, so that whatever licenses they require, they need to have a courses for branding, for packaging, all that can be made available. And there are so many now GST is there. So how do you deal with such things? So then we set up that when you want to establish a women entrepreneur, they need to have this whole ecosystem where they can also uh, be supported and mentored to make their businesses successful.
That's very true. So, Chetnaji, we have spoken about the bank. We spoke about briefly about the foundation. We also talked about your, the business school that you started and the toll free and all. I again come back to the whole banking part of it. Like, this program is presented by the NKGSB Bank, and this is a cooperative bank, a Sahakari bank, as I said, with a legacy of a long time, almost 105 years or so. So, what do you think about these cooperative banks? One, and connected to it, I also want to ask you that this is a program on the occasion of Navaratri. So meeting 9 incredible women, you're one of them, and I'm so proud, that you're with us on the show. What do you think about this entire initiative that the bank has taken to bring up this program and women on these platforms?
Sure. So number one, like when you mentioned, the first part of the question is, what do I think about the cooperative bank, right? The beauty, or I would say that when you talk about these are all member cooperatives, which are driven by member capital.
Correct.
When you say member capital, it is like, globally you can define it as a community capital. So cooperatives are not the investor driven organization. These are community driven organization. When they are community driven, then actually you serve the community. You bring the community in the leadership, right? And here I would like to give, like, NKGSB has, which is, I know it's a very big bank, not only that, and it's, of course, it has a legacy of 105 years, but it has also a legacy of being one of the exemplar bank, right? That is another thing, that it has that also. And many times, when you said about 105 years, I was just thinking that the wisdom of the first promoting members who set up the bank must have been so important, right? It would have been so much to learn from them, that 100 years before they had a vision of setting up the bank. Such a big thing. So I always see that these banks which are set up by the community capital and by the leadership of community are very, very important, because they are pioneers of not only setting up the financial institution, but seeing that these such financial institutions actually develop the lives of the community, improve the lives of the community. These are, even if it is profit, that profit is shared, right? That is
That's
the
true.
whole thing. And this gives me, actually, when I was going to co-chair Davos at World Economic Forum, I called all the promoting members again, and I said that, I have been invited to Davos. I know that at World Economic Forum in Davos, people are going to talk about billions and trillions.
True.
What should I go and tell them? Because we are such a small bank, not even just 240 crores of working capital. And people are talking about billions and trillions. And what should I talk to them?
Hmm.
You know what our women said?
True,
They
true.
said that go and tell them that we are not investor driven organization. We are
Hmm.
community driven organization. You must be having a huge amount of capital and you must be talking about billions and trillions. But for us, the courage is the capital. And
Wow.
I
Yes.
see with the NKGSB Bank also that these were the courageous members before,
Hmm.
that mean 105 years back, who came forward, who actually invested in the, brought with the community capital with them, and started the legacy of one of the exemplar bank, right? So
True.
I would say that, and I would also say that these communities who actually invest in banking and drive the bank, what do they teach to us? What they teach is that never give poor solutions to poor people. They are smart.
Hmm.
They are smart.
Hmm.
And when you
Hmm.
are having this program during Navratri, I would say, and I would actually invite the whole board of the NKJSB Bank to visit Mandeshi to see, and we will learn so much from, NKJSB Bank, because they have a very strong legacy, and would see that the work of Mandeshi also, and advise us also. But one thing, I mean, while having the digitalization at Mandeshi, having mobile banking, digital banking, our women always said that we couldn't go to high school. We had to drop out from the school. And
Hmm.
we are always known as Angutha Chap. But
Hmm.
now we are using a mobile wallet by biometric. And
Okay.
they say that nobody can steal our money because of that. So
True.
this is actually the enlightenment, and they are actually directing to our financial sector, that how uh, with all these customized product which gives the control on finance to the members or women, that can generate the wealth not only for their family but also for the society. So the lessons we learned from our members or from our women is, and all 9 days other women are also going to come and share their stories. So I am so proud to be a part of that. And the lessons I would like to share, that our women always say that never give poor solutions to poor people.
That's fantastic. I mean, that's one line which will stay with us, and it's something which will make us think, twice before we actually take a step, which should be more in a concrete manner. So, winding up the program, we have spoken a lot, and Chetna Sinha ji, it's such a pleasure to have you on this program. And there's so much we can discuss. There's so many other angles and other aspects that you can share with us. But for today, on the occasion of Navaratri, what would you like to say to women in general? How should they lead a very happy, a financially independent, a successful life? What is your message?
I would say that to all women, that you are powerful. Every woman has a power, and people around you are lucky to have you around them, right? That is the power which women have. And if your power, with your power, passion, and persistent, power,
Hmm.
passion, and persistent will make you, not only make you exemplar, but wherever you go and work, those institutions also will become a powerful. So I would just say that believe in your power. People will feel will be proud about you.
Thank you very much. So, on that note, I think we would like to end today's program, and these words will definitely stay with us: power, passion, and persistent. Yeah, tenacity is something we need to have. It's not just that one thing that you started a bank somewhere in 94 you thought about it, then 97 you take a move, but that it has been going strong for such a long time. It definitely means something. So to all our viewers, we definitely want to share this thing once again, that it is this spirit that will stay with us throughout Navaratri. Well, it's about the NKGSB Bank, and to know more about this bank, give a missed call on 022-2860-2020 or visit www.nkgsb-bank.com. The contact number and website, as we said, are also mentioned in the scroll and the caption of this video. You can just go ahead, click on the website link in the caption, directly visit the website. This program has been executed by the Miti Creations, and I once again thank Chetna Sinha, who has been with us for such a long time and has shared so much. Ma'am, thank you so much, and we're really grateful to you. For the viewers, we'll see you next time.
Sure.
NKGSB कोऑपरेटिव्ह बँक 105 वर्षांची समृद्ध परंपरा. आमच्या सर्व ग्राहकांचे, भागधारकांचे आणि शुभचिंतकांचे मनःपूर्वक आभार.